Chairman and Chief Creative Officer of BBDO North America. And I'm here to talk about television, or rather, the golden age of television. And not a golden age, the golden age. And I think people might be surprised because if I have any reputation, I guess it's for having done a lot of these new digital type things, you know, starting with BMW films all the way up to some of the HBO projects and the Starbucks projects we're doing now. But I never attempted to do those things in lieu of television. My whole thing is it's not either, it's and. And TV is just a crucial part of that mix. It's emotional, it's a way to reduce down what you want to say. It reaches gazillions. And it's just an important part of any good marketing mix. And you know, it's kind of been a dirty word these last few years. And I think now marketers are seeing that, God, you can't argue with the numbers. You have to have that as part of your array.
Obviously, you used to only have one screen, and now you have multiple screens. So can you talk a little bit about the brands you're working with and what you're seeing in terms of them either taking advantage or not taking advantage of multiple screens?
Well, I think all of our clients are taking advantage of multiple screens. You could say that this is kind of the era of screens. Everything is a screen. You know, even outdoor is now screens. You know, I was in a restaurant a few months back, and there was a screen over the urinal. You know, so everything that's out there is a screen now. It's just how do you use it. So what you could do is you could just take a commercial and stick it everywhere, but that seems like not using the medium in the best way. You should have a big idea, and then in a passive media like television, have a commercial. But then in a screen on your desk or a screen in your palm or over a urinal, you know, you can interact with it as the channel allows you to, and it makes it for a better all-around experience. And that's what you see us doing with all our clients. You know, the media companies do some of that up front, but what you find now what's happening is like these little skunk work pools laid aside for opportunities digitally that maybe you wouldn't have known just during the upfront season. So it's kind of a mixture of upfront and a mixture of opportunistic moves to again, delight the consumer in the screen they're watching. There is no template anymore about how you buy media and like, now we're going to get this and this, and it's always different and ever liquid. It's kind of a chaotic, sort of not clear, always changing environment, which I find liberating. I think a lot of people do, because that way you can always refresh and delight the culture with new ways of doing things instead of these kind of templated out things. So it doesn't really quite work like that. It's each client kind of negotiates their own way, and each client views how to put the money in different ways, and there is no one set pattern. I could think of two right off the top of my head. The two projects we did for HBO over the last couple of years, and then last year's Starbucks Love project. And the first HBO one, which was from 2 or 3 years ago, it used high definition wall projections where it looked like you were looking into the building, sort of a rear window like that. And then you went online and could explore that same building more and then find other clues and interesting ways to, and then there was TV commercials and there was a film, an on-demand film, and we ended up using, I think, you know, 12 different channels, screens.
And what was it related to a specific HBO show? Or?
No, actually it was just a brand campaign for HBO, and the challenge they give us, it's such a great challenge, but it's one that we really take seriously with a lot of pressure. Come up with content that is as good as our content that sells our brand, you know. So it's not just an ad. You have to come up with something that's really new and interesting, and wow, that's, you know, only HBO would have done that. So, and then the last one we did, HBO Imagine, was the first sort of non-linear transmedia. It was 41 pieces, and you could watch them in any sequence you wanted, and you'd get the story, but it would be your own version of it, because by the time you went through all 41, you got the thing, but the sequencing changes your view of what the story was. So. Again, giving them something to give their customers, that sort of water cooler talk like their shows are. The big thing about transmedia and about any of these pieces, the Starbucks Love project too, 158 countries all singing Beatles' All You Need Is Love together at the same time. You're not only coming up with a new kind of idea, but it's a new kind of delivery and a new kind of production, and if you're just too, as I say, if you let the cement harden and you have a certain way you do things, it's never going to work. You have to be just totally open to the messy sloppiness that it is. Because when you're doing new things, you're cutting a machete path through uncharted jungle, you just don't know what you're going to see.
Yeah.
But if you can just embrace that and kind of just cruise along and you know you're going to get there, it usually works out, and it's fun too. It's a frontier, you know. And on the frontier, sometimes you come across great beauty, and you know, and then other times it gets dangerous, and like, how are we gonna get through this, you know, this raging waters, you know?